Turn this music down. That was some Doge-wave, Synthwave. All right. Thanks to them for putting together some music. Good morning, everybody. All right. So, let me see if I can get my mic turned up just a little bit here. There might be some background noise. I apologize. Let me turn on my camera. I don't normally, obviously, let me fix my camera. Oh, wow. Put myself in the middle here. I don't normally stream on mornings, so my household's not used to me streaming. So if I have any distractions, I apologize. Hold on, I gotta figure this out. Why is my camera being crazy? I know why. 1 second. I have a 1080p for another video I did. Let's turn that back on. I have to see me editing my little setup here. Alright, not that that's important. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at. Yeah, I'll do my best Jordan impression. So if you're new, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. Take a sip of my coffee though. I don't have matcha. I'm gonna do the matcha thing. That's not my cup of tea. Good morning, Chi. Good morning, Giles. Good morning, everybody. All right, so what I wanted to talk about here was something, Lemmy posted in our Telegram group, and he's quite right. So I was messing with him. I posted early on when ETH bounced back versus BTC. I posted this initial bounce back because we were we were chatting about if alt season was going to be the same as last time, or if we were going to have a muted alt season, if Bitcoin was going to maintain a significant amount of dominance through this cycle, which that's yet to be seen. I certainly don't know. And so his point, though, let's read his comment. Really nice bounce, but until major levels are reclaimed, this is just a bearish retest, oversold dead cat bounce, in my opinion. Refer to the chart. ETH BTC is clearly under a weekly level. So I hope it breaks out absolutely. And he's right. So let's talk about why he's right. All right. So myself included, I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to anybody else on here. ADA BTC breaking out again, more. Yeah, ADA BTC broke out. Yeah, so we broke this above this trend line right here. So on ADA BTC, we'll talk about that. We're now, ADA is now in tradable territory. Link is lagging, and ETH is, you could call this tradable. If you wanted to take an entry here, you have a pseudo CTM entry, but you'd have to be really, really sure that these uptrend lines that I have are the dominant trend lines, not this downtrend, right? And so to Lemmy's point, in my opinion, the way that I validate that we're changing trends, right? So we had this uptrend, and then we had this downtrend, and we're looking to possibly resume this uptrend. Well, you need validation that you're going to resume this uptrend, and how you do that is you get outside these outer downtrend bands, and then you know you're resuming out. If you continue to track along these trend lines here, then you're good to start trading. Once you get, outside, say this trend line right here, you can probably start picking up some trades, in my opinion. I, put on a small trade early. I have a small trade on right now from just this insane wick down when it came back into this area. I went ahead and put a trade on. My idea was to scalp this. I was just going to scalp as we came back in, reclaim this bottom trend line. My plan was to pick up a scalp and to take profit up here. However, we've been pretty solid up here consolidating, so I'm waiting to see if we break down. I'll take my profit below. If we break below this trend line, that trend line, and this support right here, I'll take profit. That was a scalp trade. That wasn't a CTM trade. This you can maybe see as a CTM trade, a little bit of a bull flag here forming, but you'd have to be, in an uptrend for that to be a bull flag. And let's pull up the true trend here. Hold on. Wait, that's a symbol. help us out with the CTM true trend. I'm not able to find the true trend. Where's it at? One word or 2 words? Somebody help me out here. Where's Jordan's true trend? There it is. Let's look up the BTC one, the longer term one. So yeah, we're in a negative, we're red right now. So another way to play this might be to wait for that to recapture the green. We're starting to recover though. I mean, we'll probably end up back in an uptrend here soon enough. All right, Link broke the bull flag. I think the best we can hope for now is a higher low. Yeah, on Link is not looking great. And the reason Link is not looking good, to answer your question about my thoughts on it, it's the FinCEN thing. So it's the regulation that's going to put a damper on a lot of DeFi names, and it will impact the way that Link operates if it gets passed as constructed and if they enforce it, you know, to the letter of the law that people are expecting. Now, yeah, Link looks weak. I agree. And again, it's the regulation that's weighing on Link. Ultimately, and so another good point here is that we really can't be like, if you're holding Link, we're still on an uptrend. I think we've maintained this uptrend, so we're okay. You know, you break down below, especially this 10.6, or no, I've got a 9.8 support down here. But if we get down below this 10.6 level now, where we're at with these trend lines again, you're definitely in time to rethink your, you know, how much you're holding. But this level's pretty key right here as well. So I'm continuing to hold because these were wick downs and I didn't see any sort of, you know, significant signs that we were going to enter a really bad downtrend on this. With alt season coming up, I think it's going to rise the tide. Hey, good morning. Thanks to be here. Nice to be with all you. So, yeah, my opinion on Link is that I think the regulation is weighing on it. I think when we get some more clarity on what that regulation's actually going to do, how they're going to enforce it, what type of, like, there's a lot of nebulous language in the ruling as of right now, the regulation as of right now. So, I think it's January 5th they vote on it. And so there's comments going in right now. So I think once they realize that they're going to kill certain like important projects in the ecosystem, or at least set them back significantly, they'll have to rethink some of the language, and especially the enforcement of it. Like they may have to do like a phased, like, all right, only give us information when it's known, and if it's not known, then you have to report that it's unknown or something like that. As far as like addresses, they'll have some workaround, and as soon as there's some clarity on that, I think Link will pop. So, and so we might have to just wait until early January, a week from now, to really get some clarity on what's going on with Link. Yeah, there's also some Link FUD with the SEC. Right, I posted a video yesterday, Lemmy, on why I think the SEC part from Zeus Capital is total FUD. And if you watch the video, you'll see in there. I specifically go, there's a couple of really well-known influencers in the space that posted their interaction with Zeus Capital, asking them to put out, you know, basically Zeus was offering to pay them for negative you know, reporting on them, or negative charts or something negative about the Link price action, to try to build more FUD. So it's pretty obviously some FUD there. But yeah, I mean, so alt season's definitely getting started. Here's the main thing to watch. Again, we have this BTC dominance chart. We came in here, we got an initial rejection, but again, to Lemmy's point, we're up and out of this downtrend, this local downtrend we were in. We broke out of that. Now we have this super long-term line that I've got drawn in here. That coincides with that 70 roughly key level. And you see my key levels on my chart are 70, 50, and 33. I mean, I could drag this up to 35. You see the bottom touch there. That's probably more accurate to follow what the market says rather than my own opinion about psychological levels. those are our main levels. I'm watching those purple lines. And so a rejection off of 70 should send us into alt season finally. But we'll see. We have to wait and see. Now's not the time to maybe making big wagers on this. It's better to be patient and wait for some clarity. Again, ETH BTC is the main one I would watch, because I think ETH is going to be he's going to be the clear leader in that whole space. So we get outside this outer trend line right here is really kind of what I'm looking at. You see how many touches we've had on it recently. It tried to break out there and just fought with it. So we'll see what happens. Link getting risky. Yeah, I agree. What's your upside targets on ADA? You don't want to hear my upside targets because they're absolutely ridiculous. So how about we not get everybody all frothy on ADA? At least $3. That's what I'll say. Last cycle we did 140. I won't be looking to sell any amount of ADA as long as the current macro thesis I have plays out until $3. Now, on the line of respecting the charts and respecting what the charts are telling me, I'm going to respect the charts and respect what the charts tell me. If we get to a level and we clearly start to sell off, I'll take some profits, right? But it's going to be hard to tell because you look at this run up, it's fairly parabolic, so you have to just be able to stomach some big wick downs is what it boils down to. So, but a big wick down, even in a downtrend, you'll see what happens. Like if we have a clear downtrend, right? You get these big wick downs, you'll get a dead cat bounce, you get a big wick down. If you start making lower highs and lower lows, the next wick up into this, once we get to that point in the cycle, if ADA starts dying and we clearly see it, a wick up into here will be where I take profit. So maybe I'm greedy and I'm waiting for 3+ and we don't get there, right? So we get this back to this 140 level and we start to come back down. Well, I'll be forced to take profit around like 70 cents or something. I would expect if the thesis plays out though, we'll overshoot this 140 for sure. Upside, it could be as high as $10. I mean, I don't know how alt season is going to be and what it's going to do. I have no clue. Somewhere between $3 and $10 or, no, but I'll respect the charts again. As long as we're making higher highs and higher lows, I'm in it. So that's the main thing. All right, what's your upside targets? Link is getting risky. I have 810 sats, then 970. Oh yeah, sats is a good way to look at it for sure. Oh, you're talking like really short term, 810. Yeah, no. I'm waiting for much bigger, and then 970. Okay, so my next resistance levels. Actually, that's a lot better question. Sorry. Yeah, so I moved this down right here. I've got way too many lines. I'm going to clean up this chart a little bit. We're outside of my little downtrend I had drawn now, so that's good. Good news. I've got 766 because of these touches right here. This is more. I have a local bias on my long-term support and resistance. I have a local bias, so when the market shows me something, I will go to the most recent local bias, and then the next one is up here. Now there's obviously some levels between here. I just haven't drawn them in because we're not up there, and until we get up there and I clean up, like I can probably get rid of some of these lower levels now. We're not going to probably come back down to that bottom one. If we do, then we're going the wrong direction and we need to rethink this. This bottom trend line is the main one I've been watching on the BTC chart. As long as we're above that, we're good. And this is where I took my initial entry right here, is we came back into this as well. Again, this was a scalp. I was planning to play from the bottom, from where we retook back into this trend line, retook that back up into here. However, we didn't break down off of here, and where I would have taken profit somewhere in here, we continued up. So I'm still in that trade. Those are some small scalp trades that ended up turning out to be good. I'm fortunately riding the momentum right now. Link, I did take my profit on this scalp when we broke down here, for example. So I scalped this one on a bounce right here, up into here. I took a small trade there, been watching it. I wanted to put on a bigger position here, but we never really gave, this resistance up here was too much for me to be confident about that. I was waiting for us to break. If we broke this resistance, I was going to put on a little more piece. But since we broke down here, I took profit right here. So that's what I did with Link. And I'm currently not in a trade on Link, I don't think. I have my hodl position, but not trading. It did work well with chain link dominance, weekly RSI divergence. Okay, I'll have to go look at chain link dominance. RSI divergence. Oh, look at that. That's a horrible thing. Oh, a true trend BTC. Let's pull up the regular true trend. I'll show you all a trick on the true trend. You know, I need to be looking at it on the daily too, though. We just turned red on the true trend. So, for cryptos, especially bullish cryptos like this, a red on a true trend is probably more of a buying opportunity than it is a trend change direction. But we'll see. Look at this uptrend though. This is link dominance. There's your line to watch. There's your line in the sand. Right? We need to retake that. There you go. So there's, you know, roughly we need to retake this level before we start trading it again. Really. Yeah, so maybe the regulations, and that's what's causing it to you know, be on the verge of breaking down over here. So if you're holding, this is BTC dominance chart's good because it gives us a little bit longer perspective. I mean the link dominance. You said RSI. I don't really use RSI. Oh man, yeah, look at that. So, you know, this is probably a buying opportunity more than anything, but let's respect the charts. Let's wait for it to regain momentum, and then we'll be far enough into the dip, and it won't be that big of a dip. Like, wait for us to clearly regain, say, this level here, and then you're back in the trade. And, you know, it's not that, like, you know, where we're at right now, waiting for a little bit of positive momentum is not that big of a deal to wait for, in my book. I don't really use the RSI. Let me pull up, well, see the comments we got here. What are your thoughts on DOT? DOT was looking great. I posted it in my Twitter that it was, oh yeah. So he's outside this line right here, this downtrend. I was looking for that. We hit this resistance, came into the resistance. You know, you could probably, I trade on the 12-hour still. I'm thinking about switching to the 8-hour and just not trading nighttime. Or just not taking trades at night, because that's when things really get crazy. But you know, this is a breakout retest resumption if you wanted to take that counter trend move there on this downtrend. We're likely headed for a downtrend. The safer play would be to wait to take this 25192 level right here. If we take that out and we start trading above that, then we're definitely looking to break this trend. Now, another thing to keep in mind on this downtrend is that if I extend this out far enough, and we do draw another trend line up here, something else to keep in mind. These top touches, you know, you might be more in scalp territory until we take out that top trend line as well. Let's just put it at the extreme here just to make sure we're safe. There's another thing to keep an eye on DOT, right? So really, if you want to be safe about DOT, wait till we get above all this stuff. And that's still a lot of headroom, right? It's a basically think of it as insurance. I mean, you're not taking an entry that you see kind of setting up here, and you're waiting a little bit to take a safer entry, but that's basically like paying insurance for a better entry. In 2021, it looked to be a month after BTC exit. What's your thoughts on DOT? Super conservative. I have bear market PTSD. Yeah, that's probably a smart thing to do. Is hodling Link okay? I do think so, Red. I mean, I'm still holding my position. I actually added to it with some I had some available USD, and I think I just bought one of these dips on support somewhere. Probably not the best idea. I should probably be more patient, but I did. You know, I still think it's in an uptrend. I still think that it's gonna the regulation FUD is probably gonna fade. We're gonna have a monster run in Link. That's my feeling. But you know, until the charts dictate so, it's probably better to play it safe. So If you've been holding Link, depending on where you bought, um, you know, you might, if you bought down here, especially somewhere back here, you know, at like the 8, you might consider just getting out at break even if we do break down. But that's up to you. It's not financial advice. I don't know. What are your thoughts on VET and price targets? VET's a good. I like VET. The problem is VET doesn't trade on Kraken, which is what I'm trading on. I think VET is. I did a video about the 100x potential. Oh man, my camera's like way off. 100x potential coins, and VET was one of them. Now it won't stay 100x. It might barely spike up to that level, but it could have really strong run this bull market because of it's got a unique niche. It's that supply chain logistics, and apparently their software as a service offering using their blockchain is pretty easy to deploy, which helps. So they've got some really neat use case. Do you think that Litecoin is something to consider? Yeah, you can consider it for trading. I wouldn't hold it. I don't. Like I've said this whole time, if we overtake that red line right there with the Litecoin to Bitcoin chart, then I'll be interested. But until we get above this red line, I don't care about Litecoin. It's just my view on it. So, yeah. 1 second. Take another sip of coffee. Zeus Capital pays 5 Bitcoin to spread bad news about Chainlink. Well, if they're paying 5 Bitcoin, Chainlink is horrible. You should all sell right now. Zeus, send me my 5 Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, the chain. Yeah. So thanks for the link there. Anybody have a link for the bad news on Link? I mean the Chainlink. Please read part 1 of the question. Okay, Greg. ETH BTC 6.9 to 2017, 12/17. Oh yeah. So the cyclical nature of ETH gaining on Bitcoin, it definitely is cyclical. And there have been historic times when ETH does outperform BTC. Let's go look at the ETH BTC chart in a longer term. So this was the bull market. That was July 17. The early part of the bull market, and then the late part of the bull market, and then May, and then back here you got December through January, right there. It was 1, and then the only problem I have with that thesis is when you get over to this next one at 19, it's actually like this is the January through February, so not looking too good there. But let's see here. 6.9 to 12/17. Yeah. And then when might this occur this year? In 2021, it looks to be months after BTC exit. All these big spikes. And so remember, this occurred early on when Bitcoin had just not long after it taken out its prior all-time high. That was that huge monster spike. And then this was a lag after Bitcoin had made a new all-time high, and Ethereum made another run versus Bitcoin. And this was just basically dead cat bounces. And then, so, I would anticipate that December's been, I think there's some other data suggests that December and January especially is historically pretty strong. If we go back further, maybe, no. But this one right here was the one that, like early this year, was really bearish versus Bitcoin. So, but we've been up since then, right? So, 1/28/2018, 1/28, January 28. So you're talking about the post BTC spike, yeah. So we'll have to see. I mean, I don't want to pretend that everything's going to be the same, but yeah, this spike happened after Bitcoin started to sell off, right? and that was versus BTC. But Ethereum did spike pretty heavy in price, you know, a couple weeks after. So yeah, it's a big run. You know, we just watched the charts on that, right? Like, look at this. Had you been trading this, I probably have my levels. Why do I have these levels? Why are these all purple? Oh yeah, I remember why. So these levels are probably a little bit off for that time frame now. I think the market showed me something a little bit different recently, but let's say you were watching this pretty closely. Broke down. So you got this breakdown like we had here recently, by the way. This huge sell-off. And these moves, these big, just notice this. Just notice this weird like behavior. Ethereum sells off like crazy before a big leg up. It's just weird how it does this. And then big leg up. It just does this. This big sell-off, and then just goes back the other direction hard. But I mean, it's just volatile. I guess that's the reason. But if you had been watching this, there's, you know, maybe a CTM entry here. There's probably multiple potential entries, but that breakdown was a bit kind of rough to stomach, and then it's tough because these things will just shoot up, and it's a full-on breakout, and then you get your consolidation, retest, resumption somewhere in here. Ride that. We'll be able to trade it though. Well, that's all daily stuff. So if you get down to a lower time frame, we'll be able to trade that. If we see Ethereum making moves, we'll be able to trade it and take advantage of those moves after Bitcoin's selling off. I mean, I plan to. Do you have a Telegram? Just the Conquer Trading and Investing, and then I'm in a handful of other Telegram groups. But the main one that I'm in is just our Conquer Trading and Investing one. Maybe we should do a public something, like a crypto one, but the problem I have with public ones, and I'm in a couple of them, they're so noisy, and it's just so many people that don't know what they're talking about, and you get such a mix of like bad advice, basically, and like our CTM group, everybody there tends to give mostly good advice, and the few people that are putting out dissenting opinions, it at least gives us something positive to talk about. But like in the public groups, you get these people with these really strong opinions that don't know what they're talking about. That's my problem with like big public Telegram groups. Are you trading holding API 3? Which exchange? I think I bought API 3 on Uniswap. I just have a tiny amount of it, and yes, I'm just holding it. So these, when I talk about these, like my sleepers, these are asymmetric bets for me. I buy a little bit and I put it in a wallet somewhere, and either it goes to zero or it goes to, you know, it's here or zero. So I bought a little bit over here. Like, I think I had API 3 like back over here somewhere. I don't know where I bought it, so I'm probably just barely break even on it. It's an asymmetric bet. You know, I stuffed a little bit in a wallet somewhere, and if it does something great, if it doesn't, oh well. I don't buy a whole lot of it. It doesn't affect my day-to-day life. If it goes to zero, you know, I just get less Starbucks coffee, I guess. I'm in BTC, Link, ETH, ADA, and that's it. Yeah, for the long term, for my anything larger than like a 1/10 of 1% position, that's what I'm like. So I'm holding. The only other one that I have bigger than like a 1% position on is VeChain. This is like maybe 2% position. Not even that. This is like 1% position. But I'm gonna hold VeChain too. And API 3, you know, API 3 is a lot less than 1%. It's just an asymmetric bet play, along with my other one, the VXV one. It's just asymmetric bets. Either they go to zero or they go up 100x. So let's look at so we can get out of crypto here for a little bit. Let's look at the other markets, because one thing I need to be doing is oh my God, look at the dollar. Hold on to your milkshakes. I haven't even looked at this in a while. So one thing I needed to be doing is keeping a better eye on Forex markets, because I need to start trading Forex again next week. Do you think XRP will recover? So on the XRP topic, so the dollar is very bearish. I guess that stimulus check kind of, we're gonna make the leg down. Let me just look at this real fast. Yeah, 88 is that next support level I've got. Yeah, we're going for 88. Not trading this week though. This was the pair I was watching. I think I got out of all my positions actually. I don't know. I may have a position on. I honestly don't even know. But this is just a demo account anyway. NZUSD was the one I was really wanting to get back into, and then Euro USD. We're back above all that. Continuing the breakout. XRP. I don't think XRP will die entirely because XRP is now fairly decentralized. But I think XRP, the company that runs it is in, I forget what they renamed themselves to, but they're in dire jeopardy. But it may finally just go be a fully decentralized, run by the community project. It won't have anywhere near the market cap it had. It'll be, a penny. I mean, it already is a penny, but it'll be probably 10 cents or less, I would imagine, because the parent company is going to get slaughtered. They can't raise capital anymore, and that's how they operated for so long, because they had the most money out of all these projects, and so they could do things other projects couldn't do because other projects had to be leaner and meaner. And now, you take that out of the equation, they can't compete anymore. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be a community-run project, but the parent company is dead. That's my opinion. Gold, silver. Markets. So gold, I said this earlier. No, I know. So Jordan doesn't use moving averages, but I do. So yeah, we took the 50-day. So you could take an actionable trade on taking the 50-day. The safer trade would be to wait for us to retake the 120-day. So this light blue line is the 50-day moving average. And that's the 120 it's fighting with. So you can see it's clearly sandwiched here between the 50. It blasted through the 50, came back, and found support kind of at the 50, especially recently. But we keep getting resistance at the 120. The 200 provided. This is what provided. So it wicked down below it. You could say it was this horizontal level at 1792, which it might have been. It might have been a 200-day moving average. But you see also the moving average corresponds to this trend line right here that I've got drawn into. So there's a lot of support right there. So we at least held that. We're back in. I've had this, outer trend line here. You get above that too. So I mean, you retook the 50. That's a good sign. But the 50's in a downtrend. That's the other thing about taking, a breakout above a trend line. The 50's in a downtrend. So I wouldn't buy on a close above the 50 because it's in a downtrend. I would buy on a close above the 120 because it's in an uptrend, right? And so, interestingly enough, a close above the 120 would also be a close above this outer trend line, and then we'd be fighting with this 1919 resistance. So most likely, the safest play is to wait just a little bit for us to clear all of this. The outer trend line, the 120, and the 1919 key level. This is the prior all-time high. And then it's game on. So I would wait just a little bit. I mean, we're only, that's a really small ways to wait for safety's sake when the upside is like 3,000, right? From here. If you take this level, I mean, obviously you're not going straight there. You're going to have periods of consolidation and pullbacks and stuff. But if you wait and you take your first entry off of here, somewhere like, let's say 1960 or so, you give it some room to give you a confirmation signal. So from where you're at 1880, you wait for 1960, then you're in a really safe trade, and your upside target's like 3,000. Bet USDT. I can. I don't have it on a chart. That's right. Just pull up Binance's chart. Okay, I had some. Oh, look at that! I had done work on this chart at one point apparently. Yeah, it looks good. I mean, all these altcoins are gonna look good. Let's look at. So, I was trading it, which I'm not because it's not on Kraken. Sorry for the. I have coffee. I put milk in my coffee this morning, which is a mistake because now I like coffee. When I'm in a hurry, I make my cheaper coffee with my Keurig, and then I put milk and creamer in it because it's terrible. And then when I'm not in a hurry, I go actually do a proper pour over coffee and drink it black. Let me clear my throat. Stupid me for putting milk in that though. All right. If I was trading it, I had this key level here. Let's just clone a trend line. Obviously, you've got some touches right there. Yeah, you're right into resistance / support. So this is acting as resistance. Have we had a daily close above that? We closed there, but we got rejected. So two ways to play this. You could wait for a CTM breakout retest resumption, but with altcoins, I do want to give this warning that again they break out so fast. If you get a daily close above that level, let's move it up though. Let's move it up to the prior level, right? The close of the prior day candle. See what that, and you see it pretty well corresponds with these touches back here. You get a close above that, you can, I don't, with altcoins too, I don't take, I don't have this binary, I take a 1% risk trade like we do with Forex. I enter trades in pieces because I have to take riskier entries without confirmation. So I'll put on like a 1/10 size position, which would be like, I guess the equivalent of like 1/10% risk, right? For trades. And I would put in a small trade on a close. If we just get a close above here, I'll go ahead, wherever that close is, right? I'll just go ahead and enter. And then I'm going to assume that it's going to come against me, right? And I'm okay with that because I also have an equal chance that it just shoots straight up, right? I'm going to assume it comes back down to the support. And I might actually buy at support, just depending on what else is going on in the market. But more likely than not, I'm going to wait for that resumption and then enter a larger trade. But I take these small trades just to get some. This is kind of what I did recently with these guys. When they came in here like this, and they retook this, I don't know if they don't shoot up 40%. That's the type of stuff that altcoins can do. It's like, so I take small entries where I can, and risk very, very, very little doing it. And then when I get a really good setup and a really good signal, then I take a real trade. But, that's just, maybe I'm being overactive and trying to overtrade things, but that's kind of how I play these altcoins. But yeah, so that VET USD looks good if you want to take a. I'm just going to give you this warning that if we close above this, there's a really good chance that you don't get a good retest resumption for a while. Now you can probably be patient because this needs to spike to 40 cents or something crazy, or whatever. Not 40. What is 4 cents? It's at 2 cents now. And then come way back down and shake a bunch of people out and then resume out of there. The problem is depending on, you're not going to have any clear, a single wick, and it's a really tall entry way up here, So it's a little bit tougher playing these highly volatile. But VET, I think, the safer thing to do, honestly, on stuff like VET, these smaller coins, especially ones that don't trade on, personally, I would just buy into resistance and hold it for the duration, for a while, right? And so break this when it comes back. Probably the safer way, just watch the breakout happen, watch it to come back to some support level, and then buy at that support level, and then just hold it for a bit. That's another way to play it. It's up to you. Do you always set up stop losses because they're hard with altcoins? They do crazy things. No, I do not always set up stop losses with altcoins. I have a mental stop, but on the BTC charts, the other reason to trade versus BTC is it's a lot less volatile, and it gives you a lot more good trade entries, and you can reasonably put some. So when I do stop losses, it's when I've moved into profit and I move my stop loss to break even. Right, that's when I start with stop losses. But I generally am building up a trade position on multiple trades, and I just don't put a stop loss in until I watch some price action play out. And I did. So the other day I did put a stop loss in. Right, on this, I put in a small trade. I was trying to bottom fish, and we fell out of I tried to buy right here on ETH BTC, for example. So I bought a little bit right there. And I had a really, really big stop loss at 25. And guess what? I got stopped out. Obviously down here. So that hurt, but it was a teeny tiny trade, but it still was a losing trade. Now I did re-enter at 20, like way the heck down here at 24 something. So I got back in that same trade right here. But yeah, altcoins are tough for stop losses, and I don't have a good answer for you on that, other than I would still do an extremely far away stop loss and just take smaller positions. That's kind of what I'm doing. Like right now, I don't have a stop loss on this. I have a mental stop loss of about like 23. Like if we get down below 23, we're trading below this, then I'll go ahead and get out of my position. But that's kind of how you have to play it until you get some air gap, and then you can, when you get some space up here, then you can, like, maybe I should have a stop loss at break even, which would be like 24 or whatever it was that I re-entered right about there. No, I took it. Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't have a good answer for you. I'm sorry. Yeah, just with alts, it's got to be that's probably a smart thing to do, is just take a small position at first, take a mental stop loss, and then when you start to when you're in the profit, then you take on a bigger trade and put a real stop loss under that. Yeah, I don't have a good answer on that just yet, because I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to. I'm still working through Kraken and figuring out all, like, how the margin stuff works on that and everything. I think I've got it pretty well figured out, but I've always been with crypto. I've always been a buy and hold person. So this is my first time trying to swing trade crypto. Now, I've scalped crypto before, like on lower time frames, and that's almost easier to do, honestly. Because you can just take a close above a key level and then just sell into the next resistance. I don't put a stop loss in my EV plays for the same reason. Yeah. I mean, if you're really disciplined about a mental stop loss, and if you don't have a stop loss, another thing I would also say, do not have a full size position and not have a stop loss. That's a recipe for disaster. Like, if you're doing mental stop losses, I would do make sure you're in a smaller position. But if you put on a real size trade, another thing too, the reality is you can put a stop loss. Like, frankly, if we get down to 22, something's wrong, right, on ETH BTC, and we're not likely, it might wick down to say something like 22, and you get stopped out, but you're going to be able to re-enter, at some, I don't know, it's probably a bad level. What is this level right here? 20. I don't want to make any rules about that. Let's, as a community, tell me your guys' opinion on that. It's tough because you can just get stopped, and you're just going to get knocked around by the market. If you try to set, especially type stop losses, you're just going to get stopped out. Just the way it is. Overnight, you're going to get stopped out. Another way to do it, maybe like, I know there's setups that you can do, like dynamic stop losses. So like during the day, your stop loss can be like 22, and then during the night, it can be like 18. Something like that. But I don't know, that's just, I don't have a good answer, so I'm going to quit talking about it. Oh yeah, well, that's the thing. Alts are going to do that, right? So you're going to have bounces and consolidations. So, but it takes off very fast. I mean, I don't know if y'all have been around crypto. It doesn't act like equities or forex. It consolidates and ping pongs around, then it just moves like it just moves. Like this right here, for example. This is what Bitcoin did, right? So we had this period of consolidation in here. It consolidated, and then when it broke out, it just broke out. It's just gone. Like if you look at the ADA chart, I mean ADA's been pinging around now, but where's ADA USD? I've got a USD chart on ADA. So ADA might be giving us a entry signal, but you see, like, it ping pongs around, and then when it decides to go, it just goes. But it came into resistance there, so let's look at ZIL. There goes another one. Like ZIL just took the heck off. I guess you did get an entry here. Broke out of this. I really wanted to play this. I was really looking to play this, but I just didn't have any, didn't have a good setup in Binance for this. Everything's in Kraken, so I couldn't trade this. But I really wanted to take this entry right here. Breakout, retest, resumption. This would have been the safer one right here. Waiting for that candle retake. But I mean, they are wicking around, so they give you an opportunity to get in. But when alt season really starts going, I mean, you're gonna see just some. It's gonna move 40% without a single wick down. Happens. Lower high forming on ETH BTC. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, but it's consolidation though. So there's your high, there's your high, there's your high. This is on 12 hour. But there's also higher lows. So it's consolidation. So yeah, this is just consolidating. So we don't know which way it's going to go right now. So we're in, it depends on where you think we're at and trend wise. I think we're more in a downtrend than we're in an uptrend. So my bias would be downside on this consolidation. Let's go to like an 8 hour. It's kind of bull flagging though. Well, let's watch it, see which way it goes. If it goes up, obviously that's bullish. So another way to play this, you know, watch this kind of flag that's forming, and just take a. You can take a trade on a break of this little flag that's kind of forming. I don't know if that's really a good setup right now, but you get the idea. 4 hours not very pristine. So we'll see what happens. It's consolidating though, so it may be lower highs, but it's also higher lows. The lower high comment was referencing the 4 hour chart. Yeah, it's still higher lows. So there's your low, and this is this. I mean, it's very slightly higher low, but not much. And then your highs. So you're making higher highs up till here, and then you start making lower highs. It's still consolidation either way. All right. Anything else pressing anybody want to look at? How long have we been going? How long has our stream been up? Where's my Dogecoin? My Doge-wave is at. We're at the end of Doge-wave. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap up here. Try to keep these in an hour so people don't have such a hard time. I trade on CoinM Binance futures with 1x leverage quarterly and a small part of my holdings. I find it really profitable since it increased my position. Oh, minimal stress. Do you still hold Ocean? I don't have Ocean. No, I don't. I was looking at it for trading. I don't hold it. Good project, something worth watching. It's the leader in the AI, you know, decentralized kind of space. But no, it's an ugly chart. I never bought it. I'm watching it for a potential trade. Yeah, so I can't trade leverage on Binance because I'm in Texas and I'm not even supposed to be able to use Binance. That's why I had to pull all my funds off Binance because I don't know what's going to happen with Binance for residents of Texas. What about taxes and cryptos? Can't find a good info in Belgium. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to help you with Belgium. There's a what's this thing that I use? Coin. Oh my goodness. It is. Oh no, is it Coin Tracker? Coin Tracker, thank you, good night. I think it's cointracker.io. Cointracker.io. Yeah. So here's this is the service that I use. It's a paid for service. It ties into all your exchanges and wallets and keeps track of, you know, your taxes for you. So if you guys are getting into crypto trading for 2021, definitely look at something like CoinTracker to keep track of your taxes. Make it a lot easier at the end of the year. A whole lot easier. I'm losing faith in it. The data market beta was awful too. Rug pull after rug pull. No news lately. I think they're waiting until alt season to release news. Yeah, Lemmy, a lot of projects are waiting till alt season. I think they're not, you know, move this back a little bit. we're not the only ones who are clued into what's going on in the crypto space. These guys that have these altcoins probably know just more than we do about this cycle. I Trust Capital is a crypto IRA. Is it safe to give them API access? Is it safe to give who API access? ENAT. Is ENAT the right way to say that? Your name? I've seen you on CTM. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know the context and I don't know your setup and what you're looking for. Safety. Oh, Coinbase IO. Oh, Coin Tracker. Yeah. So you have to. That is a good question. You have to be careful with it and make sure that it's read-only access and you have this secured properly. But yeah, by all accounts, Coin Tracker is a pretty safe product. I know lots of guys. I know guys that are developers, crypto developers that use Coin Tracker, and so they would know pretty well about the risks associated with it. As far as I'm more of an infrastructure security guy, that's something for you to do your own research on. I don't want to overly comment on that. I do know people that are that write smart contracts for a living that use Coin Tracker for their stuff. So. Bitvavo. I'm trading on Kraken. I have accounts pretty much everywhere. One more thing. Let's look at the S&P real fast before we all go, because I haven't checked the public markets in so long. I need to see what's going on with the public markets. SPX 500. That's very up. The stimulus package is good for equities. Nasdaq is up. Russell. Oh, why is Russell selling off here today? It's still very bullish though. Look at that breakout. This is why I think a lot of us were hounding Jordan to take a look at the Russell, is because there were guys like Bob Kindle that were saying that there was going to be a big rotation from tech to value with all the stimulus stuff, and sure enough it happened. This was a pretty actionable setup here for trading on that, a little bit of rotation, but Nasdaq itself has been so bullish, it's ridiculous. Look at this. Look at this chart. Just look at this chart. Look at the 3-day. It's just insane. Relentless buying, and then VIX is way down. All right. Yeah, I use Trezor. I never had Ledger. The reason I use Trezor is it's open source software, and so they typically have better access to the community to bug fixes and things like that. And it's a little bit, because it's open source software, it's more transparent and it's more easy to validate what they're doing with the software, whereas Ledger's not. So I just don't like that I don't have visibility into things that are supposed to be security like that. It sounds weird, but open source software is like almost always more secure than closed proprietary software. Yeah. So as far as like holding, yeah, good. Like if those who bought Bitcoin before say August, which most of my Bitcoin purchases were right in here. So I have to be cognizant of that too. That's the one thing I'm having to be like careful about, is making sure that my lots. Something to keep in mind when you buy and sell any amount of crypto, your oldest stuff, depending on what platform you're using, they will take action on your oldest setups first, your oldest trades first. So if you're actively trading in and out, and if you bought back here, so what I did is when I bought back here, I went and parked most of these funds on either BlockFi or self-custody hardware wallet, and then it's been since here these purchases in here that I've been using for trading, because I'm expecting that I'm not going to hold these for a whole year. But so everything I bought back here, I'm hoping that I get capital gains on because I'm hoping that I can hold it for a year. We'll just see, obviously what the market does and when we have to get out. But and then everything I bought in here is what I'm using for trading and so forth. So just a small side note for you guys. Make sure that if you purchased back here, that you're not using that BTC to trade in and out of, because that will be all taxable. I'm not a full-time trader, no. I work in technology, so I have a day job, which is super slow right now because like there's nobody around. So I could live stream this morning, but I work in technology, so I do. I work for a company out of Silicon Valley that makes networking equipment. All right, guys. Well, Bitcoin's still looking bullish. We have this like parabolic trend line. I think somebody in one of my live streams pointed this out to me, so I drew in this our uber parabolic trend line, and we've been holding the uber parabolic trend line. So we'll see if that continues to hold. I haven't checked. Like I said the other day in my live stream, I don't care. Like I haven't been checking the Bitcoin price itself because I just don't care what Bitcoin's doing so much, because I'm trying to get more Bitcoin and trade, alts versus Bitcoin. And I'm fully invested in Bitcoin, so to me, a movement up or down right now doesn't really matter versus the US dollar. I know it's going to go up in the long run, so that's all I really care about. All right, guys, let me light up the Doge-wave here. Let's put it back here. It's like winding down. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a good day.
Our planet would be just a point of light, a lonely pixel, hardly distinguishable from the many other points of light Voyager would see, nearby planets, far-off suns. But precisely because of the obscurity of our world thus revealed, such a picture might be worth having. It had been well understood by the scientists and philosophers of classical antiquity that the Earth was a mere point in a vast